Greetings and salutations. Good morning to everybody. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Whew, what a day. What a day. So I hope that everyone had a wonderful Valentine's Day and is doing good this morning. Digging into that coffee. Mighty good stuff. Good morning, Flatty. Glad you could make it in. Glad you could make it in here. Yeah, good to see you. Days turn into night, night turns into day. Man, oh man. So, a lot of stuff to go over this morning. Where do you begin? You begin at the good stuff or the bad stuff? Damn. Well, I don't know. God, what a day. What a day, what a day, what a day. Well, let's see. We'll start here. Good stuff. Share my screen here. Georgia judge who decided whether to toss Fulton County District Attorney Fannis Willis off the state's election interference case against former President Trump has a set hearing for today. It's Thursday. Expected to focus on details of Willis's personal relationship with a special prosecutor she hired. As soon as allegations of an inappropriate romantic relationship between Willis and attorney Nathan Reed surfaced, apologize, Special Attorney Nathan Wade surfaced last month, speculation about the future of the case began to swirl, even if the prosecution isn't derailed, of course. The upheaval has certainly created an unwanted distraction for Willis and her team and could undermine public confidence in the case. Go figure. The defense attorney who first exposed the relationship says it created a conflict. You think? Of interest, and is asking the judge to dismiss the indictment and to prohibit Willis, Wade, and their offices from further involvement in the case. In a response filed earlier this month, Willis acknowledged a personal relationship and said it has no bearing on the serious criminal charges she's pursuing and asked the judge to dismiss the motion seeking her qualification without a hearing. The law says disqualification can occur if evidence is produced demonstrating an actual conflict or the appearance of one. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee said during a hearing on Monday, because he believes it's possible that the facts alleged by the defendant could result in a disqualification, I think an evidentiary hearing must occur to establish the record on those core allegations. Highly anticipated hearing, like all courtroom proceedings in the case, will be streamed live on the judge's YouTube channel. That could be interesting to see. Let me see if Judge McAfee actually has one. There's a possibility. Oh boy. Does look like he has one also. Crazy. As well as by news outlets. McAfee has said it could continue into Friday as he makes another run for the White House. Faces 3 other criminal prosecutions. The former president has exploited the revelation of the relationship, repeatedly referring to Wade and Willis as lover or boyfriend, to try to cast doubt on Willis's motivations and the legitimacy of the case. Other Republicans have piled on, using claims to justify calls for investigations into sanctions against Willis, elected Democrat who's up for re-election this year. The original motion was filed by former Trump campaign staffer and one-time White House aide Michael Roman, but Trump and several other co-defendants have joined with motions of their own. I don't blame him. Roman's motion says Willis and Wade were romantically involved when she hired him in 2021 to manage an investigation into whether Trump and others committed any crimes as they tried to overturn his 2020 election loss in Georgia. Committed crimes. That's not what he said. God, you guys really need to get your head out of your ass if you're going to report on this stuff. Morning, Snafu. Glad you could make it. Roman's motion says Willis and Wade were romantically involved when she hired him in November 2021 to manage an investigation. Okay, that makes more sense. Maybe I need to just learn to fucking read. Any crimes saying that he supposedly committed some crimes, but that was just to overturn his 2020 election. But there's been no proof of that. That investigation led to an indictment in August of Trump and 18 others who are accused of participating in a sprawling illegal scheme to keep Trump in the office. Really? 4 of the people charged have already pleaded guilty after reaching deals with prosecutors, but what did they plead guilty to? Hey, happy new day. Good to see you, Lexi. I'm glad you can make it. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is doing well this morning. Willis has paid Wade more than $650,000 for his work, and then Roman alleges profited personally when Wade used that money to take her on expensive vacations, including cruises to the Bahamas and trips to Aruba, Belize, Napa Valley. His filing also questions Wade's qualifications for the job, saying there's no evidence, and blah, blah, blah. I feel like we read this all yesterday. Yeah, we know that she did some pretty shady things, some pretty crooked ones. Oh, fantastic. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Really, it is. So, yeah, Judge Scott McAfee, he's going to be. He's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool judge. Should be getting that one coming up sometime today. And so 2 days ago, Zoom hearings. Yeah, that's going to be good. Interesting. Very interesting. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm easily distracted this time of morning. It's been a crazy past shit at this point. 16 hours, 17 hours. Been crazy. I'll tell you guys about it later. So, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting day yesterday. There we go. Witnesses thought Tyree Nichols was already deceased at the scene of a police beating, documents show. Rise and shine, you fine folks. Rise and shine. City of Memphis on Wednesday released hundreds of pages of documents tied to the January 2023 fatal beating of Tyree Nichols by 5 police officers, including an account from a witness who saw Nichols slumped on the pavement and thought he was already dead. The latest documents included personal files from Memphis police and fire department employees who were fired, as well as internal police investigation files, a witness statement, and emails between city and police and city officials. Yeah. Weird. Nichols' 29-year-old black man died in a hospital January 10th, 3 days after the beating. The 5 officers who were charged in his killing just happened to also be black. Black on black crime should stop. Police spoke of a witness who lived in the neighborhood where the beating occurred and shot video and photos of the scene. The witness saw Nichols lying on the ground, according to a transcript. Dude wasn't budging. I was like, oh my God, I think he's dead, the witness said. The witness said an officer removed Nichols' handcuffs. An emergency medical technician approached. Then it was clear something was wrong. The EMT guy lifts his hand. It falls, and it fell like real hard. Jeez Louise. The witness added, "It just bothered me that everybody was standing out in the street. No one had a care in the world. This guy was laying there." Nichols lay slumped on the ground. Documents also named 5 other officers who violated department policies, but were not fired. Hey, cool gamer. Glad to see that you could make it. Really, I am happy that all of you fine folks are here this morning. So, meanwhile, personnel files for Lieutenant Dwayne Smith, the supervisor who was on scene, was allowed to retire before he could be fired. Show he was arrested in 99 in domestic. So, Jesus Christ, we're talking like 26 years later. Documents show Smith's wife called 911 saying he was intoxicated, armed, and threatening her children. Investigators said they couldn't determine if Smith actually pulled his weapon. He was encouraged to seek counseling and suspended for 15 days. Yeah, 26 years ago. Do you think maybe the man changed 26 years? That's a thought. I mean, let's think back on it. 26 years ago, that would have put me in, oh well, hell, in my 20s. 1 year old, if it was Baker, that would have been 26 years ago. No, 26 years ago, dude did something stupid. Got 15-day suspension. So say this officer is brand new to the job, starts drinking, does something really stupid, gets reprimanded, goes and seeks counseling, stops drinking, and patches things up as his wife. Good luck. But patches everything up because my wife would dump my ass in a heartbeat. I did some shit like this. Patches everything up and goes back to work. So what does this have to do with anything? Absolutely nothing. Deborah Goodwin, Smith's lawyer, said he was a dedicated officer for 25 years and that those two disciplinary issues do not represent his public service or have anything to do with Nichols' killing. Lieutenant Smith wasn't present at the scenes and did not arrive until after emergency medical personnel had arrived. Initial incident report for Nichols' arrest included among the latest documents reasserts many now disproven claims of the fired and charged officers. It claims that after stopping Nichols for driving into oncoming traffic, he became combative, sweating profusely, and grabbed for an officer's gun, prompting another officer into attempt shock Nichols with his taser. Videos released in the days after Nichols' death and the statements of Memphis police officers have debunked much of the narrative. The report also states that once the officers caught up to Nichols on foot, he grabbed for their vests and service belts. The officer responded by spraying him with chemical agent. Blah 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 blah. Videos show starkly different encounter. An almost 3-minute barrage of fists, feet, and baton strikes at Nichols' face, head, front, and back as he yells for his mother about blocks from his home. Internal affairs officers were called to investigate about 3 hours after the initial stop. Records show Lieutenant Smith was in the hospital with Nichols and said he was in critical condition with a bump on his head. Smith mentioned officers' use of a stun gun and taser, but not the beating. Later at the station, Lieutenant Smith reported that he was told Nichols had grabbed Martin's gun and Justin Smith's vest and gun belt, which is not true. The internal affairs investigator reviewed the body cam footage, and Officer Preston Hemphill, who was fired but not charged, and noted that Hemphill approached Nichols' car with his weapon pointed. The investigator wrote of Nichols nonviolent, complied with getting on the ground. Within 3 hours, the investigator told higher-ups the 6 officers committed violations and must be relieved of duty. Deputy Chief Paul Wright approved the recommendation minutes later. The day after the beating, Lieutenant Smith commented on some of Nichols' related reports, and he said he had seen no body violations on the body camera videos. Oh, that's not good. That'll get you in trouble lying on one of those. Good morning, Texas Jen. Glad to see you. Glad you could make it. Ooh. Yeah, the beating of somebody is not good. me just a second. Mm. Mm. Wow, there we go. All right. Sorry about that. One of those mornings, just one of those mornings. I hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone is having a good day. Um, So, a coalition of media organizations, including the AP Press, for more information be made to the public, that spurred a release of 21 more hours of video and audio on January 30th of this year. The city released some documents last year detailing the personal records of officers involved. And it said Wednesday, with the latest release, all documents related to the court decision have been made public. We understand the importance of releasing these documents to the public. This release represents our commitment to transparency. Mills also intends on pleading guilty to criminal charges in the state court and could be called to testify against his four former colleagues. They have pleaded not guilty. The federal trial is set for September 9th. Wow, day before my birthday. And the state trial begins August 12th, but that could change. Two other Memphis officers were fired for the involvement, and two emergency medical technicians and a fire lieutenant lost their jobs for failing to provide adequate aid. The newly released documents also identified a paramedic who was suspended. One fired employee, EMT Michael Sandridge, said during an administrative hearing that from what we gathered on the scene, there was nothing I could have done that would have prevented that patient's death. The U.S. Department of Justice opened a patterns and practices investigation into how Memphis Police Department officers use force and conduct arrests, and whether the department in the majority black city engages in racially discriminatory policing. In March, the Justice Department announced a separate review concerning use of force, de-escalation strategies, and specialized units in the Memphis Police Department. Yes, yeah, these guys should be arrested. Should be have to deal with it. Oh, that's funny. Nobel Prize scientist discovers help seniors improve blood flow by 34%. It's called Viagra. Oh my. Oh my. What a day. Check this screen. Some California proposition to tackle the homelessness would worsen the problem. Huh. Let's see what that's all about. Orville, California, Democrat, California. Why don't they just say California Governor Gavin Newsom? Why does it have to be Democrat, Republican all the time? Is urging voters to approve a ballot initiative that he says needs to tackle the state homelessness. Why don't they just say state's homeless crisis instead of homelessness? Homelessness. That's weird. So that words this morning are not working well. In 2004, voters approved legislation that would impose a tax on millionaires to finance on mental health services, generating $2 billion to $3 billion in revenue each year. So they're going to impose a tax on millionaires to finance mental health services. You get this right. So what stops those millionaires and billionaires and all the rich people from going, you know what? I'm out. I just pack up and go. And then where does that leave you? That's gone mostly to counties to fund mental health programs as they see fit under the broad guidelines. Gotta love that. Jeez Louise. When are these people going to learn? Newsom wants to give the state more control over how that money is spent. Proposition 1 before voters on March 5th would require counties to spend 60% of those funds on housing and programs for homeless people with serious mental illness or substance abuse problems. But don't you think maybe they created some of those problems by giving them free needles and safe spaces to get high? I mean, it really sucks whenever someone gets addicted to shit. But have you seen what your cities look like? God damn, these people. Bastards. If you want to combat homelessness, well, I don't have any clue, but I don't think this is a good way to go about it. Man, oh man almighty. The single formula would mean rural counties such as but it says but with a homeless population of fewer than 1,300 people would be required to divert the same percentage of funds to housing as urban counties such as San Francisco, which has a homeless population 6 times bigger. San Francisco Mayor London Breed said she supports the measure, but county officials have expressed concerns. No shit, as they should. Good morning, Zach. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a wonderful evening. And Mad's free needles may not be as bad, but should be returned. But should be return a used needle and you get a new one. Otherwise, you could just have used needles lying all over. Yeah, it didn't work on the Jersey Shore. They had a major cleanup at some point in time where it was just littered with needles laying around. I don't know. I don't. What is my suggestion for something like this? I don't know. Neutron bomb, something like that. Won't those things just like kill off the population, but leave all of the buildings intact? I don't know. I really honestly don't have any clue how to stop homelessness. Maybe stop the rise of inflation. Um, Spend the money where it's meant to be spent. Get rid of like expensive campaigns where they spend millions of dollars. I mean, if you think about it, they want to spend $3 million to for a year. I mean, look at that. No, it's 2 billion. So they want to use 2 to 3 billion a year. All right. So how about this? Why don't you, instead of that, what, 60, 65, 75 billion that you want to send to Ukraine, why don't you shave off about 5 billion right there? And then California has to use that money on funding the homeless or getting the homeless off the street. Tell me how that works out for you. It's a novel idea. I mean, maybe stop sending illegal immigrants over here that are you know that are bringing down the economy. That's another idea. I mean, because whenever you can hire someone cheap to do work, that's what a businessman's going to do. Shit, man, I'm not even going to get in trouble. This is sanctuary city. Psh, I'm good. I can hire cheap labor to do all of this. I'm not saying that you get rid of the migrants, the people that actually, spend their time coming over to this country to work and do it all legally. I'm talking about the illegal ones that come across the border and don't have any reason to be here other than to claim asylum, especially whenever they're not even from Mexico. They're complaining, complaining, and it's just disgusting to me. So many things I could say. The funding from the millionaire tax cut in the millionaire tax in Butt County has mostly gone to prevention services to combat high suicide and childhood trauma rates. Officials estimate they would. So basically, what they're saying is they're spending the millionaires' money to give kids gender reaffirming surgery. That's what it sounds like to me, because they don't understand. They don't understand, do they? Tiffany McCarter burst into tears when talking about how the African American Family and Cultural Center she runs in rural Oroville, a city in Butt County, might have to close its doors. Okay. 14-year-old center with a mission of breaking the cycle of trauma in the Black community relies heavily. So wait, they've been doing this for 14 years and they don't have a high success rates because it's gotten much worse. Well, maybe the doors should be closed. Maybe instead of focusing on trauma, as they like to say, maybe focus on helping these people like get jobs, work. I don't know. I mean, all you need to do is look at the background. It tells you a whole lot about this place. Yeah. Oh, so bad. But she's got some really nice clothes, and she seems to be doing okay. The center offers an after-school program, art and dance classes, and anger management centers designed to steer young people away from the streets. No, maybe give them some purpose. Kids will stay away from the streets if you give them purpose. I mean, there's also no point if a kid is able to work, make a decent amount of money, but oh no, you can't do that. You can't allow kids to have a summer job anymore because then it's child labor. And give kids some. How does Mo put it? Some hand jobs. Give kids some hand jobs, and they'll be good. They can learn some at least. Oh, I'd love to solve the homeless problem at Carter. The center's executive director said as the hall is filled with laughter of children who run around to win her attention. But then, which one of my kids are we going to leave behind? Well, probably every damn one of them. How about the parents? Like, step up. Oh, wait, that's right, because you've already eliminated the nuclear family, because who needs parents? It takes a village to screw a whole generation. That's all it means. Takes a village to screw the whole thing. If nothing else, they can learn to meet on time. Yep. With makeshift tents lining the streets and disrupting businesses and communities across the state. Well, that they've already been spending millions of dollars on that. They had poop patrols that would come out and just basically sweep up all the feces off the sidewalks. They did nothing to stop people from coming, nothing to divert them. So you think throwing more money at doing nothing is going to help? It just puts more money in the pockets of the politicians that are there doing absolutely nothing because they don't have to deal with it. You know why they don't have to deal with it? You think one of those damn politicians, you think Gavin Newsom goes down to where all the fentanyl, tweaked out people are, hangs out with them? No, he'd rather just go up into his wine country and sit around there and sip his wine and hang out in the most expensive dining places. He doesn't give two shits about those people. With makeshift tents lining the streets and disrupting businesses and communities across the state, homeless, homelessness has become one of the most frustrating. It's that word still fucking with me. Become one of the most frustrating issues in California, and sure to dog Newsom should he ever mount a national campaign. The Democrat governor has raised about 10 million to back the ballot measure. Why are you raising 10? You've raised 10 million, yet you can't even clean up one street. Start by one street. Just clean up one. Just use that 10 million to clean up one street. You'd be surprised. It doesn't work. Has appeared on television ads promoting it, indicating it's one of his top political priorities. Already, his push for laws to make it easier to force people with behavioral health issues into treatment, as he touts the proposition as the new final piece of the new approach. We are in a unique position to take what we have been promoting, these promises, and make them real, and finally address the issue that defines more stress and more frustrations than any other issue in the state, Newsom said of the proposition kickoff event. Dude's got a nice bike. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, this is urban campers are a thing. Okay, Beth Perkins. She's a resiliency empowerment sport rest team and she gives a person a hand warmer during a visit to a homeless camp in Chico, California. Well, I ain't going to help out anything. Oh, here's a hand warmer, although you probably, you have a bicycle. Look, got a nice little bicycle you could ride on. He's got a poop bucket over here, but she gives him a hand warmer. How about, give him a roll of toilet paper? Might be better. Sacramento Mayor Daryl Steinberg, who authored the 2004 millionaire tax, said the funding is meant to serve homeless people with serious mental illnesses that county officials and providers miss the big picture. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's not helping. It's not helping at all. Why are they doing these kinds of horrible things? While it has funded many good programs over 20 years, it's gotten away from the original purpose. Nothing is more important than alleviating the unacceptable suffering of people living and dying in our streets. A two-part measure would authorize the state to borrow $6.3 billion, Jesus Christ, to build 4,350 housing units. How does that help out? How does that help out? Oh, you give them a roof over their head so they can do drugs there that they'll probably not take care of. That unless you're going to make it out of all stone with no wooden fixtures around, you're basically just building them prisons. Because what is going to happen whenever one of these people, sits in there and just like, I was so much better just living out on the street. Bathe, sure. I understand there are people that are homeless that could use that kind of thing, but is that going to be the ones that get in there, or are you just going to have some mentally ill dude that flips out one day and just goes berserk on the rest of the tenants in one of these buildings? And of course, this is how they put it. Half of these would be reserved for veterans. I doubt it. I really doubt it. They would reserve them, but it doesn't mean that they would. It would also add 6,800 mental health and addiction treatment beds. There you go. Wonderful, isn't it? So basically, just move them off our streets into this nice little section over here and let them just destroy each other. It sounds like a wonderful plan, Newsom. I love it. Newsom's administration has already spent a whopping $22 billion on various programs to address it, but it has done nothing to help it, including $3.5 billion to convert rundown motels into homeless housing. Okay, and how has that worked out for you? California's also given out $2 billion in grants to build more treatment facilities. And what does it say? The crisis is worse more than ever. Wonderful. When they OD in those housing uses, nobody will notice and nobody will administer Narcan. Nobody will care. It's horrible. Mass, the Kensington area of Philadelphia, the junkies confiscate used needles and package them in bundles for people to buy. Yep. Confiscate from whom? No, from the ground, from each other. Yeah, they don't care. They'll package it all up and give it to another one. What do you think? They're stupid? Come on. Brett, who is homeless, left, is hugged by Beth Perkins. Okay, so there's Beth Perkins running around giving hugs. You notice what thing you don't notice? Look, he can afford a cigarette, and he's just basically giving you a big fuck you. Big fuck you. Yeah, Beth, you're doing so much good and so much help. A guy has more expensive shoes than you do, Beth. But you go ahead and feel bad about helping this guy out. The state accounts for nearly a third of the homeless population in the U.S., roughly 1,801, or is that 181,000 Californians? There we go, 181,000. Oh. Local park is called Needle Park. Yeah. Third of the state accounts for nearly a third of the homeless population in the United States. That's pretty bad. A recent survey by the University of California, San Bernd Benhoff Homeless and Housing Initiative found about 2/3 of homeless people in California have mental health disorder. So that's 2/3. So if imagine this, you've got a third. So here you go. There's all these people. So a third of those are in California. And then you take, what does it say, 2/3 of those. So you take a little smaller percentage. Oh, wait, no, those are, nope, you keep those because those are the ones that are crazy. And about 18% of those are receiving any sort of addiction treatment. So does that mean they're not getting the services they need to get? That sounds to me like somebody's pulling a scam. I mean, I can't think of too many people that are mentally ill actually getting help for mental illness. And, think about all the children that are having body parts chopped off as they transition into something more likened to what the Democrats want in their state. And how do they treat them? They codify them and say, "No, no, it's okay. You're a child of ours, sweet child of mine. We've got you back. We got you back. You are good to go. Don't you worry about a thing." Ah, don't switch. Jesus, Louise. What a day, what a day, what a day. What do we got here? Is that happening right now? No, that's already over. Crazy, crazy stuff. I did find something here that might help you understand what exactly I'm talking about. Here, let me show you. See? It's something like this in California, just a little bit like this in California. Scary thought, but it does happen. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. By the University of Southern California, the 6% had received any addiction treatment despite the rampant abuse. State needs some 8,000 more beds to treat mental health and addiction issues, according to researchers who testified before state lawmakers last year. California has 5,500 beds, down from as many as 37,000 more than half a century ago. The proposal could also add beds in locked psychiatric facilities, which advocates say could force more people into involuntary treatment. Newsom and state lawmakers haven't decided what types of facility would be built. Of course not. Why would they even care? You worked a couple of cases in California. One woman was a great success, and the other is a brilliant schizophrenic who absolutely does not want to leave Skid Row. Exactly. And I would, like I said, it's a case by case kind of scenario, and they will spend billions upon billions of dollars going to Ukraine before they'll do anything to help people that are in crisis on Skid Row in California. Ones that could be brilliant or could be schizophrenic, but they're not going to get the help. And part of that I blame on a Republican, Ronald Reagan. He's the one that started locking up, shutting down all those facilities. Not saying it was right or wrong, just saying that this is the outcome of things that get done too quickly without thinking about it. If you're public menace, like camping on sidewalks, I don't think forced mental illness treatment should be out of the picture. For a time, yeah, but you also have to remember that you're going to be getting what kind of health care, what kind of mental health care, because it's going to become overloaded and overworked with the amount of people that are there. And, sure, it's going to help create jobs, but how many millennials do you think are going to want to work that for, minimum wage? You want to get paid $15 an hour, $20 an hour, $50 an hour, especially if California changes their income to $50 an hour. Good Lord, you know how much money that person's going to make just to try to have to deal with an overburdensome amount of people. I mean, and it's not going to stop the inflow. It's just going to bring more people there because, well, shit. What's to say me being in Nevada or Georgia or some other state, I can't just hop a train, get to California, look homeless and find health care. I mean, it's throwing money at this kind of thing is not always the best idea. Like I said, neutron bomb gets rid of all the people, and yeah, sure. I'm kidding. Don't do that. The proposal could also add beds in locked psychiatric facilities, which advocates say could force more people into involved. We already read that. From humanitarian civil rights perspective, we vehemently oppose Proposition 1, said Mark Salazar, executive director of Mental Health Association of San Francisco, which serves more than 15,000 people monthly. There are studies now that show over and over that coercing treatment just doesn't end well. It just doesn't end well for the individual. It's amazing. Uh, what is that? That healthcare must be better than letting schizophrenias fend for themselves. And Reagan caved into the social justice warriors of the 80s who said mental health care facilities were a violation of people's rights. There was a massive shutdown of those facilities. Exactly. That, like I said, I hold accountable people that should be held accountable for that kind of crap. Your gal who had schizophrenia is super high functioning when she takes her meds. It's the one disease that constantly tells you you're just fine. It's everyone else. Yeah, we're seeing that today. Seeing that kind of issues happening today with our children. Whenever you codify them and say, no, it's okay. Susie wants to become Sammy and Sammy wants to become Susie, it's absolutely perfectly normal. We should just bow to their whims instead of seeking to get some sort of psychiatric help. Chopping parts of your body off is a pretty bad mental disorder. Just saying. Yet they would much rather send some guy into a mental institution because he wants to carry a firearm with never having proven anything outside of craziness. Yeah, speaking of firearms, I did manage to see this come pulling up right here. It was at least 8 children among 22 hit by gunfire at the end of the Chiefs Super Bowl parade. One person was deleted. Now it's really strange because I saw this yesterday and I didn't know exactly what it was. There was um, it looked like people were scattering and 4 people came running in, uh, or more. I couldn't really tell because it was all shaky. And I tried looking for the same video because it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I was going through some shit yesterday that I didn't have time to really focus in on it. But it appears during a parade, someone opened fire and they got taken down by a bunch of fans and held until police could step in and arrest them. So it says 8 children were among the 22 people hit by this gunfire. Said sending terrifying fans running for cover as yet another high-profile public event was marred by violent people. What it has nothing to do with gun violence. Violent people. So we're gonna have to reword their news and make it proper reporting because these people are too incompetent to do it. So how about we do this? 8 children were among 22 people hit by gunfire in a shooting at the end of Wednesday's parade to celebrate the Kansas City's Super Bowl win, authorities said, sending terrified fans running for cover as yet another high-profile public event was marred by the violence of one person that was armed. One of those victims, a mother of 2 identified by her radio station as a DJ, was deleted. Kansas City Police Chief Stacey Graves said 3 people had been detained as part of the investigation. She said she has heard that fans may have been involved in tackling the suspect, but couldn't immediately confirm that. Well, we know differently because we saw live on video that they did tackle him and take him down. Of course. I'm angry at what happened today. The people who came to the celebration should expect a safe environment. No, the police will not protect you. You can only protect yourself. Police did not immediately release any details about the people who were detained or possible motives for this person losing their mind and going and shooting at people. She said firearms had been recovered, but not what kind. Does it matter what kind? If a firearm was there, it was probably the one that went chasing people around. All of that is being actively investigated. It's the latest sports celebration in the U.S. to end in violent people shooting at other people. It injured several people. After the Nuggets NBA championship and gunfire last year at a parking lot near Texas Ranger World Series championship parade, social media users post a shocking video of police running through the crowd scene as people hurriedly scrambled for cover and fled. One video showed someone apparently performing chest compressions on a shooting victim as another person, seemingly writhing in pain, lay on the ground nearby. People screamed in the background. Another video showed two people chase and tackle a person, holding them down until two popos arrived. Yeah, that was the one that I saw. Radio station KKFI said Facebook post Wednesday evening that Lisa Lopez Galvan, the host of Taste of Tiana, was killed in the shooting. Okay. This senseless act has taken a beautiful person from her family in this Kansas City community. Lopez Galvin, whose DJ name was Lisa G, was an extrovert and devoted mother from a prominent Latino family in the area, said Rosa Itzirs, Martha Ramirez, two childhood friends who worked with her at a staffing company. Galvin had attended the parade with her husband and her adult son, and a diehard Kansas City sports fan who was also shot. She's the type of person who could jump in front of a bullet for anybody. That would be Lisa. The shooting outside Union Station happened despite more than 800 police officers who were in the building and around the area, including on top of nearby buildings, said Mayor Quentin Lucas, who attended with his wife and mother, who had to run for cover when the gunfire broke out. I think that's something that all of us who are parents, who are just regular people, parades, rallies, schools, movies, seems like almost nothing is safe. Now, you wonder why. You wonder why. We were engaged to find her, to bring her back home out east. We raised money and got her dad out there. We did find her. He went home alone. It's so tragic. Yes, it is very tragic. Homelessness is a very tragic scene. Yeah, the 9 cities targeted by the U.S. Department effort to crack down on violent crime. Do you think that maybe this is just a move by people that are sick and tired of, damn it, those mean, evil pew-pews are running around pew-pewing people whenever they should be just staying at home, or maybe walking around homeless in California? No, they're in Kansas City. If you want to stop people from doing these kinds of evil things, well, then don't have large gatherings. This is why I avoid large gatherings, just so you know. I don't like being in crowded places, because if I can't be armed there, then there's no reason for me to be there. Absolutely not. Am I going to go after somebody else? No, that is not me. But I don't want to be left empty-handed. I can't believe it really happened. Who is in their right mind would do something like this? This is supposed to be a day of celebration for everyone in the city and surrounding area. I'm sure we'll find out that there was something else behind this. It sucks that someone had to ruin the celebration, but we are in a big city. Well, there you go. Get out of the big cities. So the hospital is treating 8 gunshot victims. 2 were in critical condition, 6 were in stable condition. She said the hospital is also treating 4 people for other injuries resulting from the chaos. Lisa Augustine, spokesperson for Children's Mercy Kansas City, said the hospital is treating 12 patients from the rally, including 11 children, some of whom suffered gunshot wounds. Some of them just might have got trampled and hurting really bad. She said that one gunshot patient was in critical condition. St. Luke said one was in critical condition, 3 walk-ins with injuries that were not life-threatening, which means they probably twisted an ankle or something of that sort. When you have this many casualties, it's going to get spread out among a lot of hospitals so you don't overwhelm any single ER. Chiefs trainer Richard Burkholder said he was with the coach Andy Reid and other coaches on the staff members at the time of the shooting. The team was on buses and returning to Arrowhead Stadium, where truly saddened by the senseless act of violence that occurred outside the Union Station and the conclusion of today's parade and rally. Missouri's Republican Governor Mike Parson said, and First Lady Teresa Parson were at the parade during the gunfire but were unhurt. Well, what does that have to do with anything? President Joe Biden said the shooting cuts deep into the American soul and called on people to press Congress to ban assault weapons. There you go. There's the plan. Let's get rid of those assault weapons. They are so salty. They're constantly just loading themselves up and chasing people down. With their high capacity gun magazines means that they can go further, faster, longer, harder. They're like bionic assault. We should just call them bionic assault weapons. There we go. Bionic assault weapons. Because with those high capacity gun magazines and other gun measures that have been rejected by Republicans, of course, it's always the Republicans rejecting it. Hey, Sean Bird. Yo, what's up? Glad you could make it. Glad you could make it here this morning. Lynn Dalton. Will she have to commit a violent crime for treatment to be forced upon her? Possibly. There's always that possibility. Today's events should move us, shock us, shame us into acting. What are we waiting for? Well, what are we waiting for there? It might be we have a Second Amendment right. And you can't take that away. And you are going to try everything that you can, everything possible that you can to try to take that away. Before you go, jumping on a bandwagon of left, right, or whatever it might be, why don't you find out what kind of issue this person had that went and started doing all of these pew-pewing things? That would be a novel idea, something very interesting that you may want to check out and see why this person lost their mind, why they started doing crazy things. Hooray, hurrah, harumph. For light crimes, but there we go. So they can pick her up for light crimes, but she'll spend the night in jail. Something more serious does not guarantee she will get the meds and mental health treatments she needs. Right. And I'm not saying that all these you overwhelm a mental health facility with over what? How many homeless are there? 181,000 people that are supposedly homeless in California. You try loading those up into a bunch of mental facilities to get the care that they need all at once, without people that are trained professionals in this kind of aspect. I mean, they'll just probably come in and say, "It's okay. We'll have a struggle session. Time for a timeout. Go sit over here in a corner. Oh, you think that you're Napoleon? Well, Napoleon. We'll put you over here in the Napoleon section because we got like 50 of you guys at least, and all of you are correct. You're all Napoleon. See how well that works out." Yeah. Biden noted that Wednesday was the anniversary of the 2018 high school shooting in Parkland, Florida, that deleted 17 people, and said that there have been more mass shootings in 2024 than there have been days in the year. Well, what compared to what? Compared to what? Because I mean, why don't we talk about this crime that you've removed? Well, we just hold them for 24 hours in Chicago, New York, California. Do you think it's going to get much better? Nope. The city and team each chipped in around $1 million for the event commemorating Travis Kelch. Okay. Patrick Mahomes and Chiefs becoming the first team since Tom Brady and New England Patriots 2 decades ago to defend their title. Hooray for them. That's awesome. What to say? Hey, Jude. Hey, Jude. How are you this morning? Good to see you. Dual diagnosis of severe drug addiction, mental health issues makes it worse to siphon out. Yes, it is bad stuff. Mental health, something that should be addressed, but sometimes just will never be touched. So we'll continue on with that story. It just takes a little bit takes a little bit out of me there. All right. Joe Wilson, who runs Hospitality House in San Francisco, said more housing and beds are needed, but not at the expense of other programs like his organization's 2 drop-in centers in the Tenderloin neighborhood and 6th Street corridor. Workers there, most of whom were once homeless, help navigate services for people, update resumes, and drive them to appointments. Now that right there is doing some help. Everyone agrees that we need more resources for housing. Is this the best way to do it? And they don't believe so. Now, see, I like Joe. One of those center's workers, Anthony Harden, a San Francisco native who was homeless and suffered from addiction issues, said many people he has helped have become independent and productive by learning new skills and hobbies, like in the chess club he hosts. The group connected more than 30 people to jobs just last month. That's one person per job. Stop by to light, chores done, and heading back to bed. You get some rest, Rabbit. You need some rest. And you stay safe, sweetheart, and take care of yourself. Look forward to seeing you very soon. Oh, in the Butte County city of Chico, about 165 miles north of San Francisco, providers say the city's only drop-in center for troubled youth is at risk. The 6th Street Center for Youth offers rent assistance to college students, but workers do not believe that would protect it from having its budget cut. Solis Kalowski, who uses, there you go. That's all you need to say. That's all you really need to say right there. It's amazing that you've got, oh, thank you, Rabbit. Don't you worry about that at all. You take care of yourself. The name is Solis Kalowski. Kalkowski, something like that. But of course, they use the pronoun they. They have to put that in there, of course. Found themselves sleeping in they truck after a breakup a few weeks ago, and said the center kept they from ending up chronically homeless. Well, you're not homeless if you're sleeping in a truck. And how about this? Get rid of the pronouns and get yourself a fucking job. Just want to say. It's a healthy outlet for me to come where people will listen and give you advice. Well, here's some advice. Stop worrying about your pronouns. Pay more attention on getting some skills. It's a healthy outlet for me to come where people will listen and give you advice. I've been working on myself and being more productive. Me having this chance, I'm blown away. Well, thank you. I think it's pronounced B-U-T, like Butte. Butte. It could be Butte. Could be Butte. I like saying butt, though. Butte County. You're probably right. I don't care, though. It looks like butts to me. Butts everywhere. Butts everywhere. We like the butts. Former Indonesia general linked to human rights abuses claims victory in presidential election. Welcome, Indonesia. Jakarta, Indonesia, former general linked to past human rights abuses claimed victory Wednesday in Indonesia's presidential election, result that would raise questions about the commitment to democratic values in the sprawling island nation that's the world's third largest democracy. Yep. Different name, different place, different pattern. Yes, I'm being silly. I've got to be silly today. I can't think of anything else but rather not being silly because it's going to get serious at the end of the show, and I need to I need to get all this silliness out of the way before I wish you guys a wonderful day. I get a haircut, a real job has now become screw your pronouns and get a real job. No, it's more like screw your pronouns, get a haircut, pull all the facial things off your melon, and go get a real job. Get a job, hippie. I honestly don't care what people use as their pronouns. It matters not to me. If I'm going to use them or not, it's entirely up to me. I don't have to use your pronouns. I can tell you go to fuck yourself if I want to. Simple as that. I don't have to. I'm a law abiding concealed carry class graduate. Shooter lunatics have become representatives for me. I don't think so. Exactly. Because most shooters do not represent lawful citizens. Because if you're lawful, then stop breaking the fucking law, asshole. It's simple. The result that would raise questions about the commitment to democrat values in a sprawling island nation that's the world's third largest democracy. Doesn't say it's got the world's third largest economy, it just has a large democracy, which means you have two wolves and a sheep deciding what's for dinner. Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto 72 presented himself as an heir to an immensely popular sitting president, Joko Widodo, whose son was his running mate. Citing unofficial results, Subianto told thousands of supporters in the capital that his victory is the victory of all Indonesias. So, what do you think? You think this guy actually won, or he just claimed himself the victor? I'm curious. Wonder what's going to happen in November. Do you think that one person will win and maybe call themselves a victor, or do you think one person will lose and call themselves a victor? That's wonderful to know. Yes, that's why I'm wondering what the other democracies are, because America, as Sean Bird has so rightly pointed out, we are not a democracy. Yes. There was no declaration by election officials. The two former provincial governors who competed in the balloting did not concede defeat. Subianto, who was once banned from entering the U.S. for 2 decades because of his human rights record, was an army general during the brutal period of the Suharto dictatorship, which ended just over 25 years ago in the I cannot pronounce that word, between the Pacific and Indian Oceans. He served as Special Forces commander in a unit linked to torture and disappearances, allegations he vehemently denies. According to unofficial tallies conducted by Indonesia polling agency, Subato had 57 to 59 votes, with more than 80% of the vote counted in polling places that were sampled. Quick counts were based on actual votes, sampling of polling stations. I don't care about that. I don't want to hear. We should not be arrogant. We should be proud. We should not be euphoric. We have to be humble. This victory must be a victory for all Indonesian peoples. To avoid runoff against his two rivals, Subanto needs more than 50% of all votes cast and at least 20% in each of the county's provinces. Widodo's successor will inherit an economy with impressive growth and ambitious infrastructure projects, including the ongoing transfer of the nation's capital from congested Jakarta to the frontier island of Borneo at the cost of more than $30 billion. Good Lord Almighty. The election also carries high stakes for the United States and China, since Indonesia has a huge domestic market, natural resources including nickel and palm oil, and diplomatic influence in its Southeast Asian neighbors. Wow. So now you know where your nickels come from, all 5 cents. But with his links to a former dictator and Widodo's son on the ballot, some observers feel that democratic values are eroding. Well, no shit. The logistics of the vote were daunting, involving balloting across 17,000 islands inhabited by 270 million people. Ballots and ballot boxes were transported by boat, motorcycle, horse, aside from the presidency, blah, blah. We already talked about this yesterday. The court was then headed by Widodo's brother-in-law. At least 22 activists were kidnapped that year. 13 are still missing. Okay. What does this have to do with anything? So they're just writing. They've got like 10 stories in this one. It's so weird. Why not just write one damn story? This is what happened. This is who did what. And that's how it goes. Good Lord Almighty. Feel my temperature rising. Burning, burning. Feel like I'm out of control. Oh my, oh my, oh my. It is insane amount of crazy stuff. What a day. What a day. Give me just like a couple of minutes. I need to grab some more coffee really quick. I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of music so you don't have to run off. You can chat amongst yourself, but I really need to get some more coffee. I've got to wake up this morning just a little bit. So give me just about, listen, a couple minutes. I'll be right back. I am back. I am back with fire in my groin. Step 2, succession. Step 1, suck less. Step 2, one of those days maybe you can teach me that stuff. Yeah, being a mod is actually, it is very, very busy. Good morning and nice to, well, thank you. Thank you. Am I still muted? I better not be muted. You should be able to hear me. You don't want to get that looked at, Boomer? I'm I'm pretty sure I'm not muted. You might say that because I'm looking at my mic and I see that it's on and nothing else has changed. Oh, talking about this one right here. Good stuff. Oh, am I really muted? I don't think I am. Okay, thanks, Zach. God, good Lord Almighty, I feel my temperature rising. What a day. What a day. All right, let's see what we've got. Nothing there. Nothing there. Anything on the horizon? I'm sorry. I find that picture so damn hilarious. And I just had to share it with everybody because I'm weird like that. And do I have all my bookmarks? There we go. On to some more fun stuff here. So I saw that there was some no, that's, I'd have to show the whole thing. Never mind. What's this one? So For you, those of you that are scared of heights, this is for you. Oops, you missed the start. That's okay, Toodly Pip. There you go.
I'm terrified. Please don't let me do this. Please. It's not scary. It's please. I'm scared. Please don't let me do this. No, head back. No, please. Head back. No, please do it.
She's passed out like 3 times.
Okay, head back.
She keeps passing out. She's out. And she's out. She's passing out.
Oh my God.
And she's out. And she's out. She's like a goat. And she's out. And she's out. And she's out. Sorry. This kills me every time I see this.
No.
Oh, boom. She's out again. Her sister's over there laughing.
Put me down. Put me down.
And she's out. And she's out.
Put me down. Put me down. Okay, one more.
No. She's out like a light again. Oh, that's so bad. Like, oh. It feels so good, but it is funny. It is funny, and I do feel bad for laughing. Yes, she is a fainting goat. Like, hey, S. Crowder, good to see you. She totally is a fainting goat. We're just like she she can go live on Bell's Farm. This isn't normal. No, it's not normal by any means or any shape. It's not normal. That would be scary. I mean, imagine you get spooked, like someone jumps out and scares you, or you go to a scary movie, you would pass out. Oh my gosh. I didn't even feel a twinge of bad for laughing. I felt a little bad. If that were me, I would expect you all to laugh mercilessly. True. I would expect it. Yes, it is quite a bit funny. But we're talking about rides. How about this one? I'll have to show you this. This is a water ride. That looks rough. It looks like the building caught on fire and not the damn it. Start playing the music. Looks like flames went through the whole thing. Would you imagine being inside that whenever that thing lit up? Oof, that would be no fun. That would be no fun at all. But we did find out um, Joe Biden's son Hunter. We did manage to find him. He is hard at work currently today. He's been very busy. Been very, very busy. Here we go. No, takes time. Ukraine is slightly, slow. What do you think they do for a living? What do you think they do for a living? Come on. You know what they be doing. Ah, there we go. This will put a smile on your face. Is that drugs? No, that was the outcome of money that's how money gets moved around through Ukraine. That was money. That was straight up cash. No drugs shown here. No. As long as she doesn't come to any harm, I hear. Oh yeah, she won't come to any harm. She'll be just fine. But she should get that looked at. Something's wrong with her that causes her to pass out. Hunter's too dumb to make that much. Oh no, he's not. Yeah, he is not. Those are some funny looking bricks. Yeah. You build a house with those things though. But speaking of money, this is a money shot right here.
Bitches in the future?
So he got bitches in the future out of a simple thing that could have said Bitcoin is the future. COIN. And he says bitches. ES. Can't count enough letters there. It's so wrong. So wrong. Spent too much time listening to rap. So as we were talking about free houses, this is a pretty interesting one here. Dude figured out how to get a free house. You saw bitches too? Jeez, you guys are so bad. Easy mistake. No, because the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, it says Bitcoin is the future. And then whenever he said bitches in the future, I was like, what? I was like, I don't know. It was weird. Just weird to me. But you want to see how you get a free house? And I don't suggest ever doing this because this right here, they should arrest this guy. And he should be serving some time for doing this. But right here, free house in Portland, Oregon.
This is how I got a free house in Portland, Oregon, and how you can too. So the first thing I did was find a vacant house that somebody was trying to rent. Next, I looked up how to break into a lockbox without using force. Thanks, YouTube. Next, I forged some documents. This made it look like I had a lease agreement, and I called the utility companies and had the utilities put in my name. I'm not going to pay them, but they don't know that. When the owner showed up, I politely explained that this was my house now, and they need to leave. So they call the police, and I show them my lease agreement and the utility bills, and they tell the owner that this is a civil matter, and they've got to sue me. This made the owner super angry, so she lawyers up and tries to evict me. Of course, I can't afford a lawyer, so I call up a tenant advocacy group who gives me a lawyer that's 100% free and funded by taxpayers. So my out-of-pocket is still $0. So this lawyer fights on my behalf for months and months, really driving the owner crazy and costing her tens of thousands of dollars. Finally, the owner decided it would be cheaper to just give me a chunk of cash to leave rather than continue paying the lawyer. So she writes me a check for $10K and I move out. I didn't even have to clean the place up, and that's a good thing because I do a lot of drugs and the house looks every bit of it. Still no thank you note for aerating the walls, but whatever. So I just got 9 months of free rent in a house that otherwise would have cost me $3,000 a month, plus a nice cash for keys check. And I wasn't even charged with anything. I always thought that stealing was wrong, but it turns out if you steal a house, it's not even against the law here. So this couldn't have worked out any better. Thanks, Portland. This is how I got
In this guy's defense, he might have done this for awareness. Well, I know he did it for awareness, but still, really, really crappy thing to do. I hope he's just bringing awareness and he didn't actually do this, because that would be really crappy. And, the thing is now seeing, and Now seeing the end, I know he did. Hey humans, what is up, feral housewife? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. Wonderful days. Wonderful days. So the only problem with this guy is doing this. Like if you try that here in the state of Georgia, it ends up becoming a a trespassing. If I'm not mistaken, it might be a felony. Just depends. It really does depend. But yeah, you also don't have to evict somebody. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to evict somebody at all because all you have to do is show up and you can pick them up and move them out. It is no longer a civil matter. Pick them up, move them out, move your ass right in, and throw all their stuff out on the street because they don't belong there. They don't own the house. You don't have an agreement. It could be they can say it's a fake agreement or some crap like that, but yeah, forged documents. You can do federal on that becomes a bigger problem. You don't want to play that stuff in the state of Georgia. Bad idea. Very bad idea. A vertical housewife. I mean, in his own way. Yeah, this works until he meets Angry Bob, who handles things extra legally. Yeah. Yeah, it becomes pretty simple. You don't even call the cops at that point. There is no point in doing that. You really don't. You don't even bother calling the cops. You walk right in there and you take back your house. Simple as that. Don't play that stuff. I don't know. See, you don't want to play around with Georgia landowners like that. That's a really bad idea. Not any legal advice because I don't know the law, but all I know is what I would do, and it would not be pretty. I would not make it a pretty use. Ah, here it is. I did find the Kansas City thing. I had bookmarked it. So be aware in about 10 seconds you're going to see some stuff and you can tell me what exactly happens here. This is outside of Kansas City. And they say they have no idea what happened. Who's running in, tackling, looking down, down he goes. 1, 2, 3 people. Other one comes in with a firearm away, got him down, pops him out there, holding him, just running and scattering. No idea what's happening. Punching him down, calling for police. Nobody knows what's going on. Here's the police standing around doing nothing. And here comes finally the police to come in. Thank you, Kansas City fans, for stopping what could have been much worse. Of somebody that clearly wished to do harm, and thank you for stopping them. Whoever those folks are, you guys are heroes of the day. And I'm sorry for any loss or anybody that was injured in this altercation, but I guarantee you all those guys that jumped in there to stop making and stopping this person from creating more damage. Big kudos to you. Welcome, Wolfram. Welcome. Glad to see you. Glad you could make it. Beautiful that they were able to do that. Beautiful that they got in there and did this, because these are the people right here. These right here are the people that that they were protecting. Makes you feel much better about protecting them. But these are the kind of people right here.
No, what'd you say?
Why did they pay it?
Because that means you have to pay for that.
That's not my problem.
She's looking at her American Express bill, and under charges, it says like pay it. Like you can pay that on your American Express.
Yeah. So pay under your American Express.
And she said, why does it say pay it under this? And I'm like, well, so you could pay that. Like you would hit pay it and you pay that. And she said, why does it say that on mine? That's not my responsibility.
But like I already bought it. So why would I have to pay for it again?
And you're not paying for it again. You're paying because you pay for it on a credit card.
This is why good talk. Yeah.
The credit card is like unlimited, right? I'm so confused.
So confused. Like, actually, it's unlimited, but you have to pay the bill.
Like,
Idiot.
actually,
It's unlimited, but you have to pay that bill. Yes.
but I already bought it.
And this is why I put this on her mother for not explaining to her before giving her a damn credit card. Hello. Good to see you. Yes, Sean.
No, you're not paying for it twice.
Mom's trying to explain how credit works. Yeah. This is I blame on the mom. Because daughter shouldn't even be this old with a credit card. There you go. And not understand how a credit card works. This is why a home ec or whatever you call it across the pond should be a must. No, because then they would just give you gender affirming care. That's basically what home ec is. They call it very much it's made to skew women and put them in the kitchen and all that kind of neat stuff. I don't know. Daughter seems extra ignorant about this. Yeah, I think a little bit of it's made up, but yeah, it's tell me you raised a spoiled brat without telling me you raised a spoiled brat. Exactly. Good morning. See Crowder and Flatte. Yes, mom is an idiot in every aspect of the word.
Help.
Help? No. Why don't you learn first, lady? Because apparently mom doesn't know. Because if she did, it would be a simple explanation. No, this is a credit card. We're taking away the credit card until you can learn how to balance a checkbook. What's a check? Huh. So whenever you write a check, if you don't have the money in your bank account, you can't write a check, or else they charge you. But I have money in my account. Well, show me where it says that you have money in your account. Look, it says I have $10,000 worth of credit. No, explain to her credit. Jesus Christ,
Get it.
fucking people. Hooray for them being stupid. She didn't at least learn anything in high school. No, she didn't. I remember when I was a kid, I would say to my grandpa, you just put the card in the machine and the money comes out. I was like 5 back then, but for some reason, grown ass adults feel the same thing. Yes. Yeah. Good morning, Snafu. Mm-hmm. Silliness. Let's see what they have to say. Ah. Well, let's see what they have to say about this one. Ah. Good Lord. Yeah, no, I'm not going to pull that one up. I pulled that one up yesterday. Let me see here. There's another one I had in here. Nope, that was all I had for that. Another day, another dollar. Some are 12 beers deep. Okay. All right, let's do this. Let me turn that music off, rewind it. And we're going to pull this up because I don't know what this is. If you say put the card in, put the card in, money comes out. Yep. There we go. So dude's sitting there, has a gun. Dude comes walking up. Boom. Yeah. Number 12 bears deep. Takes a swing and misses. Knocks his hat off. Good Lord Almighty. Don't be 12 beers deep. Sorry about the typos. Failed speech to text. Yeah, I do that quite often. I don't use speech to text anymore. I just can't do it. Nope, not playing that. Nope, not playing that. Okay, weird. Nope, I can't play that. There's so many things I can't play. Oh, we did find some people in we did find some of these wonderful people in California. Yeah, Texas speech is racist and discriminatory. At least Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop routine. Oh no, this is much better. Hey, Lynn Dalton. So this is a really good one. You're going to get it. If you ever wonder what it's like living in an area that's homelessness is rampant. Here you go.
So it's about, I'm not really exactly sure what time it is, but my wife is on the phone because this right here is going on. Yeah, you need to not be. So this is still happening. And now we got some cops rolling up here. There's this shit right here. That's some wild business. Anyway, see the wrong motherfucker. They need to come on around here. This is what I'm talking about. This is crazy business right here. I won't let my dog, but
the demons are loose.
Yeah, oh shit! This right here is the wildest business I've seen in a long ass time. What time is it? They know where anybody. No. So this is still happening. I'm being rebuked in the name of Jesus. Yo, I'm not sure what happened to this lady. But I'm not sure what happened to this lady. Something gotta happen. My dog is over here bugging out. This is not how I wanted to.
No, she's literally lost her freaking mind. If you ever wonder what it's like having somebody psycho in your neighborhood, that right there is it. That's about what it's like right there. Does she have rabies? No, she has something mentally wrong with her. Something mentally wrong with her. And I think the demons got to her. Finally. It happens. The demons are the real ones that you need to be afraid of. The demons are bad. Demons are really bad. Oh my. So let's see. One more thing to set Eris off before it's too late to do so. So I'm going to have to be jumping off here in about a half hour. Lynn Dalton, the psychosis of fentanyl is real. Yeah. Hopefully they don't take her to prison. No, they'll take her to jail for a short period of time. Once she gets in jail, they'll hold her for a period of time, and then she'll just be back out on the street again. It's like Grand Theft Auto, where you get injured or something bad happens to you, and all of a sudden you wake up and you're outside the hospital just a few dollars short. It's bad. Just imagine that times 181,000. Just imagine that. Jail detox, I guess. No, they won't even detox. They'll just end up in jail unless they become violent with the popo. They'll just end up in jail for a short period of time and be back out. They probably, more than likely, she doesn't even realize what's going on around her, that she's done this to somebody. But psychosis is real. GOP Speaker Johnson says House won't be rushed to approve aid for Ukraine as $95 billion package stalls. Wonderful, isn't it? Republican Speaker Mike Johnson said Wednesday the U.S. House will not feel rushed to pass another foreign aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and other allies. But Ukraine is not an ally. They never have been. They are not part of NATO. They are not part of an alliance. We are just sending money, as you saw earlier, sending money to Ukraine. Signaling a further stall over sending military hardware and munitions, Kyiv badly needs to fight Russia. Johnson made the remarks behind closed doors at morning meeting of House Republicans who are largely aligned with a former president. What does that have to do with anything? The party's presidential frontrunner. Wow, really? Now they're considering him the frontrunner? Wow. I guess there's no denying it at this point. They're just like, yeah, he's pretty much got the ball rolling here. The speaker let colleagues know that the House will instead work its will in considering the package, said a person familiar with the private remarks and granted anonymity to discuss them. The Republican-led House will not be jammed forced into passing a foreign aid bill, which just makes sense. Johnson, who rejected a border security compromise that was eventually stripped from the final product, said the Senate's package does nothing to secure the U.S.-Mexico border. See, what they should have said is, yeah, we're not funding Ukraine. Simple as that. We're not funding Ukraine. We're going to stop funding these never-ending wars in other countries that have no bearing on us whatsoever. You've forced your way into pushing countries into NATO and expanding NATO, where Russia said don't. I mean, we're happy to join NATO, but you're going to abide by we're going to have some say so in this. At one point, Russia was one of the largest countries, most prosperous, and then at some point the commies came in and fucked its economy. Same way they did with Germany, the same way that they did with all of the other countries that decide that they want to become communists. They just destroy them. Nobody wants to solve the issue. Yeah. I know what you're talking about with the fentanyl, detox, all that stuff. The White House suggested that Johnson was in no position for productive talks after Republicans demanded that border security be attached to the national security aid. No, there was certain Democrats. Those were rhinos. Today, you're sending a letter with your tax bill attached that I can't pay to my local state rep. I'm asking him to forward to Homeland Security and or the Department of Defense. Yeah, good luck. Hi, Alexi. White House Press Secretary Jean-Pierre Luc is, Jean-Luc Picardis said that Johnson basically needs to negotiate with himself on what to do rather than the White House. Okay. What is there to negotiate? What is the one-on-one negotiation about when he's been presented with exactly what he asked for, so he's negotiating with himself? That's not true. Biden was warned that refusal to take up the bill would be playing into Putin's hands. Okay. In Congress, meanwhile, one last-ditch effort came from a number of lawmakers, Democrats and some Republicans, would be to employ an unusual procedure that would force the House to take up the bill for a vote over objections of the GOP Speaker and its leadership. So-called discharge petition is a cumbersome, long-shot approach, but it's one way to leverage the political power, blah, blah. Central to the $95 billion package has been aid for Ukraine, and it's more than a $60 billion allotment. It also includes some funds to help the government in Kyiv stay afloat during the war. Why? Why are we helping them out? We should not be helping these assholes out whatsoever. We should be kicking them to the damn curb. The money for Ukraine and a little bit for Israel, a little bit for Taiwan is largely military related and spread across the state, across the U.S., or home to domestic manufacturing for what supporters have called an arsenal of democracy, harking back to last century's language for the U.S. role abroad. And our allies are watching this closely. Our adversaries are watching this closely. We know from history that when we don't stand up to dictators, they keep going. But you have to understand that he is not a dictator. Putin is just a president of his country. He's not a dictator. So, on to the bad news. Bad news. I plan on streaming tonight. I may have to cut my streaming short. We'll see over this weekend. Because we found last night that my father-in-law passed. He passed Monday. They found him on Wednesday, and so I'm trying to be there for my wife and trying to continue on with my streams. So if you don't see me for a while, just know everything's okay. It's just personal family business. I felt that I needed to address it because that was one of the reasons why I wasn't on last night, was due to that loss that we found out sometime yesterday afternoon. I figured it was best to spend a little time with the wife, with the family, and it is sad, but it actually is a little bit of a blessing in disguise. Is that because his health was deteriorating, and it was better than the alternative of being in some sort of hospice care for a long period of time, which can be mentally draining. It is a tragic loss, and I appreciate all the kind thoughts and everything. Just know that it's all good. It's all good. But like I said, if you don't see me on for a little bit, it's just because I've got a lot of personal things to take care of with the wife. So I'll try to do as much as I can when I can, and I just want you to know that I appreciate all of you, and like I said, I'll still be doing as much as I can. But we're a little bit in limbo of what exactly we are our next steps. So we'll have to sort of take it as it comes. It might be this weekend that we are having to go out of town. It might be next weekend or something of that sort. We're not quite sure where we're at with everything. But again, thank you very much for your condolences, and it is much appreciated. And what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'll probably have a stream tonight, and we'll be, hopefully able to, get through some of the Amber Heard stuff. I was planning on doing over the next couple of nights. And like I said, Tuesday was Valentine's Day was a very interesting day. My wife and I, we really don't do Valentine's Day. But I wanted to make sure that, she was, because I mean, she's taken it really well. She's doing fine. So, like I said, thank you very much for your condolences, and we'll be, hopefully, everything works out just fine. We will, like I said, have to be traveling out of state, just sort of tie up all the loose ends and get those taken care of. And that's where we're at and what we know. Oh, good morning, MLS. Good to see you. So hopefully, like I said, if you don't see me for a little while, that would be why. I hope that you guys, are still here whenever I get back. I hope you guys are. But like I said, I'll try to do a stream tonight. Like I said, the wife seems to be doing just fine. She's just, just dealing with it. She'll probably be the administrator, and she's she just goes that way. So thanks, Mass. I really appreciate it. Thanks very much. And yeah, it is bad news, but retiring too. No. I'm not retiring at all. That's not what's going on, David. My wife's father passed on Monday. And uh, his in-home nurse that comes by to check on him came by, went back on Wednesday, and he was deceased. Had been since Monday. So coroner involved, and they're just making all those plans, and we're not sure where we're going to be this weekend, if we're going to still be here in town, or if we're going to have to go where he was at, and clean out the apartment, all that kind of stuff. So that's it's just a lot of moving parts. It is sad, and this I didn't want to take the whole show away from talking about this. It is what it is, and it is sad. But I just want to let you guys know, if you don't see me on for a bit, that's why. It's not but that I'm retiring or leaving it, or you guys, or anything like that. Just know that there's personal business that we've got to take care of. So that's where we're at. And sorry to bring everybody down. I mean, I can give you a little bit of something, fun to look at. If you really want something fun to look at, this would be it right here. Make your day. This will make your day. So there you go. Happy Tuesday. Leacock, like the new look. Let's go. Like the new look. Puppies. Yes. There you go. Puppies for you right there. Look at them puppies. It's a banana. Oh my God. I didn't see that until it was over here in the right hand corner. Oh Lord Almighty. I feel my temperature rising. I'm going to stop that. That was hilarious. Everybody have a wonderful week, and weekend coming up. Like I said, we're taking this as we know a little bit more about what we have to do, where we need to be, all that kind of stuff. And with that, I will see you guys hopefully tonight. But if you don't see me tonight, just know that my thoughts are with all of you. So see you then. Peace.